Following increase in the activities of bandits in various parts of the state, the Zamfara state government has directed individuals to obtain guns. This was contained in a statement issued by the Commissioner for Information, Ibrahim Dosara. The statement noted that this decision was taken by the state government in view of its commitment to ensure adequate security and protection of lives and property of the citizenry in the state, particularly during this rainy season. Now, in this right here, we have a special advisor to the Zamfara state government on media and public communication, Zailani Bappa, joining us virtually all the way from Gusau. Good morning, Mr. Zailani, and thank you so much for joining us on Daybreak this morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
Okay, so now, why did the Zamfara state government decide to take this step? You know, is this like the last resort, you know, for the government?
First of all, let me take you down to memory lane before we. You know that His Excellency has his own idea of solving the problem of insecurity here in the state, which is the reconciliation between the bandits and the government. And that is exactly what he started doing when he came into office. And that succeeded for quite a long time, for almost more than a year when it was done. There was an agreement between the bandits and the government that they are going to lay down their arms and government is going to take care of their grievances, which included incorporating their kings and kin, which are the Fulani people that are herdsmen, into the mainstream of educational, health, and other sectors which they felt they were being denied before. And that came up during the discussions, and the governor accepted all their demands. And of course, we had relative peace all over the state. People were being released without ransom. They released over 3,000 without ransom. They didn't continue to kidnap and kill people. In fact, they even disarmed themselves and laid down their arms and submitted over 1,000 AK-47 to the government. But suddenly, because of the activities of bandits in other states, neighboring states and other states of the Federation, the federal government deemed it fit to suspend in fact, to terminate the entire peace process with bandits across the country. And we had to abide. But still, His Excellency came up with an idea which we called the stick and carrot approach. Those who wanted to surrender will be absorbed into the society when they lay down their arms, but those who are recalcitrant will now be fought according to the principles of the government. Now, this has also worked to a certain level, but unfortunately, due to some certain circumstances, we saw some banditry activities now returning back into Zamfara state. And this is very worrisome that today one community is attacked, tomorrow 2 communities are attacked, tomorrow they go to 3 communities, etc., etc. So His Excellency also decided to use his wisdom to introduce more stringent measures to deal with these people. You can remember he introduced the idea of closing all major markets in the state because we understand it is during these markets that they are selling cattle they ration. And it is during these markets that they are buying and selling their ammunitions. And he also stopped the selling of livestock outside Zamfara state. We know that if you steal the cattle and there is nowhere you can take them to sell, it is useless for you because you can't keep them and feed them. So this also reduces cattle rustling. We also stopped the selling of black market of petroleum because we know it is where they are taken into the bush for them to fuel their hundreds of motorcycles to go around marauding the people. And he also, at the end of the day, decided to cut off telecommunication services in the state because we know that the bandits rely 70 to 80% of their success on informants. We live and eat and drink with them. They are the same people who tell them where the military are or where the police are coming and ambush them. They are the same people who tell them where somebody has sold his cattle, that person has money, and so on and so forth, so that they get soft targets. And this cut off the communication between them and their informants, and our security operatives had a very successful operation on them, and that also reduces the level of banditry at that time. But now that it is coming up, we come to realize that whenever they attack the community, because of the lack of number, our police and the military and other security operatives are overstretched. They cannot be everywhere. They cannot be in every village and hamlet and on roads and streets and so on and so forth. So whenever they attack you because you are unarmed, before the military or police are informed, before they come, they have already done what they want to do. So it is important that we empower our local sources of defense, which are the INSECURITY with the vigilante groups. And that is where also His Excellency introduced the constabulary system, where 7,000 youth boys and girls will be employed. So far, 2,700 of them were trained in the police college in Kaduna and Sokoto, and they are already absorbed into the system. They will not carry arms, but they will do everything other the police are doing to complement them. And
Mr.
this
Melani,
is still,
Melani, one
yes,
issue that actually caught a lot of attention, especially with newspapers this morning, is the
yes.
governor's directive for the commissioner of police in the state to license willing individuals that want to bear arms. And you said that you have already mobilized 500 forms for each of the 19 emirates in the state. A lot of people see this, especially security experts, criticize this as a call for anarchy, that people, if you arm everybody, it will result into anarchy. Don't you have this fear?
So that is what I'm coming to. If all these measures I have already enumerated have not stopped banditry, but the banditry is still escalating, we have to go out of the box. We have to think out of the box to look at other solutions. What we come to realize is that in some of these villages and hamlets, these people who are mainly farmers and herders do not have any defense mechanism. And the reason why these people come and have upper hand over them is not because they are stronger than them, but because they have arms. So if the police and military weapons are not available to defend these people, there is no way we cannot allow them to defend themselves. And the only way to defend themselves is also to carry arms. And by that carrying arms, we know that there are laws governing carrying arms in Nigeria. There are prohibited type of weapons that we cannot allow them to acquire. But those that are within the law will be applied, and these people will have these weapons in their villages. Look at this scenario. A small village, for instance, of 500 people or 1,000 people, they will be attacked when they don't have even machetes. And these people will come with 10 or 20 AK-47 and start shooting them. Even if they don't shoot them, they cannot fire them because they know they are going to have upper hand over them. But if they know that 10 of their youth have been licensed and they have weapons, they will have a second thought before they incurse into their village. So that is exactly what we are saying. We have seen what has happened just recently. In fact, some 3 days or 4 days ago, when we were coming back from Sokoto, we saw where these vigilante groups, not more than 20 or 30 of them, with their den guns and local weapons, where they repelled some bandits who have rustled hundreds of cattle, and they took away these cattle from them. They were fighting them when the military come, and they enforced and then sent them away. And at the end of the day, the cattle were even shown to us, and they were being taken back into the villages where they were. So I think if this is under control, there is going to be an improvement in terms of banditry activity in the state. And whoever is accusing this should give us an alternative, because we have done all that we can, and the federal government is doing what it can, the military and the police are doing what they can, and this thing is escalating. So the people who are at the time, during their night when they are sleeping, when nobody is around or have something that they can use to defend themselves, their family, and their wealth. So I think this is why we have decided this, and we are going to give it a try.
Kailani, now, Zamfara State is actually the first state to, offer, mass approval for guns for self-defense. Now, what are the citizens actually saying about this? Are they open to the idea?
Now, we have instituted 3 committees. The government has instituted 3 committees for this, and these committees are going to work hand in hand with the public and ensure that it succeeds. The response we are getting from the state is overwhelming support to what is being done, because many people have already made their feelings clear that if they have weapons, there is no way their young people, able young people, will allow these recalcitrant people to come in and have the upper hand of them because they have weapons. It is because they have the weapons that is why they have upper hand over them. So everybody is happy with this. All we want is to give it a trial and see how it will succeed. If it does succeed, we are going to do it within control environment. Because what people begin to ask is, if the law of the land stop everybody from owning a gun, what laws stop the bandits from owning their guns day in, day out and killing people? Because these are the same. In fact, just a few months back, a young man was caught, and he is from Niger Republic, and he told us that he alone brought in over 400 AK-47 into Zamfara State. Now, why should the bandits have weapons, and then the citizens cannot be within the law allowed to have weapons that they can defend themselves? So this is exactly what is happening, and we have a committee that will liaise with the public in terms of the informants, and then we have a committee that will also help in prosecuting of any informants found to be liaising with bandits. And we also have a committee that is under the command of a retired police commissioner that will now be part of the support to the Nigerian security operatives in terms of this operation.
Well, a lot of people also, over the course of yesterday and this morning, spoke about the first responsibility of government, which is providing security of lives and property. And some feel that pushing back this responsibility to the people is like abdication of responsibility on your part as government. What have you done, especially, pressuring the security operatives and the federal government to, which is, of course, are the ones with the responsibility of providing security, to actually act on this issue, to go all out for these bandits instead of, asking people to do it themselves?
So first of all, let me tell you what we have done so far over the last 3 years. The first thing His Excellency did, as I told you, is to enter negotiation and appease the grudges of these people. And he has started building the rigor system which they want, and they are almost completed. And secondly, His Excellency decided to acquire over 200 Hilux vans, which are equipped with communication gadgets and distributed to all security operatives to go into the bush and work. And he has also given them monthly interest to run these vehicles and for allowances of officers on duty. His Excellency has also decided to go to Abuja several times to meet Mr. President and ask for additional military and police support, which over the period of time, hundreds and thousands of police and military have been posted into Zamfara State, and His Excellency is the person who is giving them all the supports they want. His Excellency has ensured that all the NSAK operating at that time impunity, because also if you are going to operate to defend the citizens against criminals, you also have to work within the law, because before they will just, whenever they arrest somebody, they will just slaughter and so on and so forth. So they were empowered, they were given allowances, the NSAK, they were being trained. His Excellency, I told you, has also instituted the constabulary system of which we are going to have at least 7,000 able young men and women who are going to complement the police work. And His Excellency has taken all the measures I have told you about: cutting communication systems, stopping black market systems, stopping selling food outside the state, selling food, cattle outside the state, and so many other things that the government can do
Mr.
at
Zelani,
its own level. So, yes.
Those were really laudable steps that the state government had taken. But the issue is how have these, why did all these measures did not help or did not diminish the activities of the bandits in the state? Where is the problem?
You see, it's actually because the time when we came in, there was a meeting of the entire Northwest governors in Katsina. And the agreement is that all the states within this zone will now work in synergy to ensure that this problem ends. And we also have to work with the federal government in terms of cross-border criminality, because all the weapons that are coming into our states, not only Zamfara state, but other neighboring states of Katsina, Niger, etc., are coming mostly through Niger Republic. And that is why exactly His Excellency decided to make at least 3 or 4 trips to Niger Republic. First of all, we went there and met the governor of Maradi, where the governor discussed with our governor on how to stop the inflow of weapons into Zamfara state from Niger Republic. And at the end of the day, the governor said this cannot work if the president is not involved. At that time, there was going to be an election in the state, but in Niger. But at the end of the day, he invited the prime minister of to Gusauha here, and talks were held. Later, after the election, we went there to Niamey and met the president, Mohamed Bazoum. All the concrete measures the state government has taken with the Niger Republic was taken to Mr. President, who was so appreciative. And he even dispatched our governor back to Niger Republic on behalf of himself to finalize these talks. Even Zamfara state itself donated 5 Helios vans to Niger Republic for this border patrol, which they said they don't have the capacity to patrol it fully. So we are doing all we can, but the problem is multitude. There are problems in neighboring states, there are problems of neighboring countries, and there are so many other problems, like I have told you, of informants that we have here, and there are political issues that also came in. So the whole thing is so complicated that we have a lot of spanners being thrown into the works. But I'm assuring you that His Excellency, at his own capacity, he will do everything possible to support the federal government, to support our military, to support the police, to support the vigilante groups, to support the local people themselves, to ensure that we deal with this problem hands-on.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Zailani, for your insight on this issue.
Thank you very much.
All right, so that was Mr. Zailani Boppa, Special Advisor to the Zamfara State Government on Media and Public Communication. And with that,